Last year when I started the mechanical keyboard hobby, the landscape is very different. There are very few good custom boards at the sub $200 price point, so that's around less than 10,000 pesos in Philippine currency. Gasket mounting, case foams, P foams, and the like were limited to higher tier options. You'd have to save in around 20, 30, 40,000 pesos to achieve this level of quality. And last year was a very exciting year because the game changers for me came into play. What are these game changers? The GMMK Pro, KBD67 Lite, and the Keychron Q1. Personally, for me, they forever changed the possibilities of what quote-unquote entry-level keyboards can offer. So AKKO has been one of these contenders that offers high-quality keyboards and peripherals at a very reasonable price. I remember my first keycap purchase, it was the AKKO Macau, which I really love. It punches an amazing value for the price. Last year, AKKO also released several gasket-mounted keyboards from the acrylic series, which are sub $100 keyboards, to their mod series, which are their full aluminum series keyboards. The first release of the mod series is very respectable. It was really good from the reviews that I've read. It's just that personally for me, it was overshadowed by the Keychron Q1, one of my favorite keyboards to date. The north-facing PCB, which will likely cause interference on cherry profile keycaps, the stiffer typing feel, the plate-mounted stabilizers were among the few reasons why I chose the Q1 over the Mod 007. All of these changed when the Mod 007 V2 was released. It really got me excited. The V2 now offers polycarbonate plate instead of the V1's FR4 plate. The PCB thickness is also reduced on the V2. These are changes to make the typing feel softer. A very bold and ambitious move by AKKO because personally, keyboard sounds can easily be improved with all the crazy modifications that we have out there, such as the Tempest Tape mod and the PE foam mod. But personally, I think it's the typing feel that separates these keyboards apart. Premium boards like the Mr. Suit offers a softer and better typing feel compared to the lower tier boards, and I think this is the one that is very hard to achieve even with all the modifications that we have. Going back, the aluminum plate comes with silicone gaskets, which AKKO claims to be softer than the Poron foam. It now comes with the complete package of foams, the plate foam, the case foam, and the PE foam. And yes, the PE foam sound can be tiring for some, but it really depends on the personal preference of the user. It makes life very convenient to have a pre-cut PE foam readily available for use instead of just cutting it out manually. So up to this date, a lot of mid-tier keyboards offer some of these foams, but I think AKKO is the first one to offer all of these foams that you could possibly need in your keyboard setup. Aside from that, the Mod 007 V2 comes unassembled, which is very good if you want to customize and modify your keyboard. So far so good. The only thing that I'm not digging would be the north-facing PCB. And although it's ready for screen stabs, the stabs that are provided are plate mounted. I really think AKKO should have gone all the way with this product because it's really good on paper. They should have gone all the way and provided screw-in ones. Anyways, I'm willing to let these drawbacks go because on paper this keyboard would be amazing. Does it live up to it? Let's find out. So after 2.5 weeks from ordering from Shopee, the package finally arrived. It's placed in a decent box with the AKKO logo in it. But upon opening it, I'm really impressed with how they packaged this Mod 007 V2. Very nice packaging, very artistic. I'm going to make a full AKKO build for this one. I'm going to use my PBT ASA profile black and pink keycaps, and mind you, AKKO's keycaps are very good for the price, way better than other clones out there. These are high profile keycaps, a little bit higher than OEM if I'm not mistaken, and I think AKKO is trying to market these keycaps, and that's probably one of the reasons why they don't put their switches orientation in the south facing way. I'll be using the jelly black keycaps as switches as well. These are linear switches with I think 45-gram actuation. I've heard good reviews about the switches. So inside the box is this cool black and neat design of the AKKO Designer Studio logo. Very minimalistic yet impressive for me. It's well packed with cushions inside. And upon opening it up, you will see the manual where you can see the controls for the RGB and other stuff that you might need. You have screws here for the plate and screws to lock the lower and the upper case foam. So here is the top case plus the PCB plate and the plate foam sandwich, as well as the stabilizers. So again, these are silicone gasket mounts that they use for the aluminum plate, which you can easily replace with the Poron that's provided. So the daughter board is detached from the lower case, which we will attach later. So at the back of the PCB, there are 6 screws, which I will remove. Again, I prefer removing those screws to give the board a little more flex and a little more play. It also comes with a decent coiled cable, which I really like. I think it's way better than the one from the KBD67 Lite. So I showed there the knob as well. So on the lower case, you can see here, so again, this is the included polycarbonate plate, which is really nice, and the Poron gasket strips that you will be using with the polycarbonate plate. And I also tried using this with the aluminum plate. The PE foam is wonderfully cut out already for you, although I find it weird that the back part of the PE foam is a bit plastic. I don't know how that will affect the sound. And then finally you have the lower case foam. Building this is very straightforward, so you just have to assemble everything. If you're not going to use the PE foam, you don't have to unscrew anything, but I will be using the PE foam for this one, so you have to disassemble the PCB plate sandwich. So again, very easy to do. Just have to remove the 6 screws around your PCB. Remove them gently as they are very screwed tightly from the factory. So make sure you don't destroy the screws. So this is what it looks like after disassembling the plate. So there's a very nice plate foam included, and that's your PCB. So the next that we're gonna do is put in the PE foam. So as you will notice, the PE foam's part that goes on top of the knob is not cut. Maybe they forgot to cut it out, so you have to manually cut that out to make room for the knob. So that's how it looks like after cutting it out. And then basically just have to align everything back in place and put your keycaps and your switches. So very easy, very beginner friendly. So I'm using again the AKKO Jelly Black linear switches. Their sound profile is more on the clacky side. So, and the AKKO's ASA profile PBT keycaps. So how does it sound in its stock configuration with all the foams in it? Let's find out. In its stock configuration with all the foams in it, it sounds pretty good. It's actually okay. However, it suffers 2 major problems for me. It's the stiff typing feel. So I really doubt that the silicone gaskets would be softer than the Poron foam. And number 2 is the ping, the ping and the hollowness of the case, much like that of the Keychron Q1, which is expected for the design is very similar to that of the Q1. The upper and the lower case making direct contact makes a lot of hollowness and pingy sound, which is again easy to fix. So what we're going to do to remedy this stiffness and this pinginess would be to first, I tried removing some of the gasket strips around the aluminum plate. So I removed several gasket strips and I left around 4 to 6 if I'm not mistaken, and see if that improves the typing feel a bit. And I also did the force break mod, much like what I did to the Q1. So Leukoplast tape around the upper and the lower case. At first, I tried putting both around the upper case and the lower case. I found that it was very sticky. It worked well, but it's very hard to disassemble in the future, the upper and the lower case. So what I did was I removed the upper case force break and just left a single layer of force break in the lower case, which was really enough to eliminate that ping. And then I placed in a Tempest tape mod, 3 layers of it, and I removed the lowercase foam. So I believe that removing the lowercase gives a lot of room for the board to flex, because I think that that lowercase is not necessary anymore once you do a 3-layer Tempest tape mod. So after all of those modifications, this is what the board will sound like. Now we're talking. So that's a good sounding keyboard. It eliminated a lot of the hollowness, although there's slight hollowness remaining. On a side note, please do check when inserting the knob. I had a difficulty inserting the knob at the first time. I thought that it was not locking into place, so I messaged up AKKO, and the fix there was to press it down very hardly. So just make sure that it's aligned and press it down hard enough for the knob to go very low, like the one shown in this image right here. So make sure that it goes inside and it locks within the port that you have to insert the knob into. Otherwise, if it's too shallow, the knob will be flimsy and it will fall out of place. Okay. So what are my impressions after modding this keyboard? It's really nice. It's really good. It's a good keyboard. The stabilizers need a little bit of tuning. There's a little bit of rattle. I tried doing the Holy mod, but as it turned out, it became too mushy and too muted. So I removed the Holy mod and found out that it will sound better just by adding up some lube. So I added some Krytox 205 grade 0 on the stabilizer wires and the stabilizer housing, and it was good. It was good. I didn't find the need to replace the stock stabilizers the moment I was using this keyboard. How about the AKKO Jelly Blacks? The AKKO Jelly Blacks are good. It feels good. It's a 50-gram spring, but it doesn't feel too light at all. It's on the clacky side, higher pitch spectrum of sound. Unlubed, it's already smooth, although I felt that there was a lot of loose sound in it, so I had to lube it up with Krytox 205 grade 0. As a final configuration to this keyboard, I tried using the polycarbonate plate with the Poron foam, and it was amazing. It felt really premium, very soft typing feel, very good flex and bounce to it. The sound matched the Lube Jelly Blacks well. I really love it. And I mentioned earlier there was still a bit of hollowness in the sound, very slight. I eliminated that by putting a polyfill layer on the lower case. Sounds really good, right? The next questions that a lot of people ask is, how does this keyboard compare to the Q1 and the GMMK Pro? I have yet to try GMMK Pro, but based on user feedbacks, I think the Q1 and the Mod are a better value keyboard. Now, this or the Q1, I have tried both, and I will tell you it's a really close call. But to answer this question and hopefully guide you, here it goes. If you want a south-facing PCB, a keyboard with a bouncier, flexier experience, and you don't mind it being slightly more expensive, then the Q1 might be the one for you. If you want a keyboard that comes in slightly cheaper, comes with a polycarbonate plate out of the box, has a less bouncy but personally softer typing feel because the Q1 has a steel plate in it, and it includes all the foams that you might ever need, then that's the Mod 007 V2 for you. Both are really good keyboards that pack more than what you are paying for. Both for me are endgame worthy. Pick the one that suits you more and be happy with it. You won't be disappointed in any of the two. So in summary, the Mod 007 V2 is an amazing keyboard. It does encounter some hollowness and stiff typing feel at stock, but I have showed you how to modify it. And after modifying this keyboard, boy oh boy, it's really good. These are just my wish list on the next iteration of this keyboard. I would like to see a south-facing PCB. Please do that, AKKO. A lot of people are begging for it. It would be amazing if you could include flex cuts on your PCB in the next iteration of this keyboard. And this is going all out premium. VIA compatibility would be really nice for those who need it. Personally, I don't. But again, do take note that AKKO does have their own remapping software, but I feel that VIA would be easier to use. Again, these are very minor improvements on a very good keyboard as it is. This keyboard takes everything that I'm looking for in an endgame keyboard. Again, do take note that endgame is a term that is used very loosely in this hobby, because in reality, if you're in too deep, there's no such thing as endgame. The Mod 007 V2 looks good, sounds good, and most importantly, feels good to type on. At 1/3 the price of higher tier boards, for me, it's truly a game changer. It bridges the gap between expensive group buy level keyboards and the in-stock entry-level boards even closer. And although the elites would have a mixed opinion on such move, I personally feel that this is a good thing for consumers overall. Yes, keyboard values would go down, but I don't think that the premium boards would lose their overall appeal, especially to those who can afford them. For those who are not willing to spend a fortune and yet still would want to experience a proper mechanical keyboard, AKKO is making it possible for us, and in the end, that is a win for the mechanical keyboard community. I hope you find this review useful, guys. Thank you for the overwhelming support. We are nearly at 500 subscribers. Watch out for my YouTube community and a giveaway once we reach that 500 subscribers. Please do hit that like and subscribe button, also the notification button, because I have some awesome contents waiting to be finished. Again, this is Tokidoki. Thank you for watching.